You think this is just a weapon? You are wrong. Hidden inside this arrow is a secret powerful enough to decide a man's fate. The secret is depicted in an art scroll that Japan treasures as a national relic. Watch how the arrows arc across the sky. Each one has its own unique pattern. The feathers are from hawks and eagles, the most prized materials a warrior could use. The tips of the tail feathers were considered the finest. Yet, the true power of these markings wasn't just designs, they were receipts. On a chaotic battlefield, a single arrow was the sole proof of who struck down whom, and one mistake, one misidentified arrow, could cost a warrior everything. In one desperate moment, an arrow threads through a tiny gap in an enemy's helmet, a perfect, unmistakable strike. That arrow belongs to our protagonist, Takezaki Suenaga, but this stubborn man wasn't just seeking victory, he was bankrupt. This war was his desperate bet to restore his fortune. This arrow, his signature, was his last chance to get paid.
The scroll you're seeing, this national treasure, exists because of his raw obsession. Suenaga recorded every detail of his battles, creating one of the most vivid eyewitness accounts of the mysterious Mongol invasions. So how did a forgotten warrior turn a single arrow into a legacy that outlived empires? Let's follow the trail he left behind.
Made by a filmmaker with Japanese roots living abroad, it bridges Japanese culture to viewers across the world.
Our story begins at Hakata Port, Japan's vital gateway to mainland Asia. A Mongol invasion fleet is on the horizon, and samurai are gathering for the defense. Among them are the forces of Ootomo Ieyasu, a powerful local lord. Centuries later, his descendant, Ootomo Sorin, became one of Japan's most famous Christian daimyo, also known as Don Francisco, a name we often use on this channel. The samurai passed by the gate of the Takezaki Shrine. With deep ties to the royal family, this shrine was a powerful symbol of the authority and tradition they were fighting to protect. But among these well-equipped warriors, we find our protagonist. After losing a bitter land dispute with his own relatives, he has been cast aside. At 30 years old, Suenaga is impoverished and all but forgotten. He knows this war is his last chance to reclaim his honor. With just 5 horsemen by his side, he rides to prove he is still a samurai. On October 20th, 1274, the Mongol invasion began. The Japanese commander, Shoni Kagesuke, gave the order, all units will attack together in a coordinated assault. But Suenaga, our forgotten samurai, rode forward and made a desperate plea.
Please, let me do the first attack.
He was demanding to attack alone, defying the official strategy. The commander strangely granted his wish, making a promise.
If I survive, I will take my responsibility and report your valor.
This first attack was essentially a fatal mission. According to one study, 86% of casualties in the period immediately following this one were caused by arrows. This figure is double the 42% recorded during the Sengoku era. Leading the charge was an incredibly dangerous role that drew the enemy's fire, but it offered the promise of honor and promotion. This is why samurai fiercely competed for the chance to take the first attack. In response, their armor evolved to withstand the deadly rain of arrows.
Japanese terms for this role include ichiban yari, ichiban tachi, and sakigake. This role motivated soldiers to engage in battle. These terms are still used today. For example, sakigake can also mean pioneer, which is similar to vanguard.
Interestingly, the scroll reveals a hidden, inconvenient truth. Suenaga, who is having a conversation, is not here. He had also disrespected his commander by not dismounting from his horse, a breach of etiquette. This suggests that later generations may have revised the record, wanting to present a more perfect hero. You might be wondering why this priceless scroll has been altered. The answer lies in its nature. Today, around 50 versions of the scroll exist. The legend depicted in the scroll has captivated generations of samurai because it embodies the ideal samurai. Consequently, the scroll was sometimes used for political propaganda. The original text and illustrations were created separately. Over the centuries, the scroll has undergone a complex history of being combined, edited, and copied. This makes deciphering its original form incredibly difficult. Suenaga headed toward the coast where the Mongol army had landed. En route, he encountered a troop of samurai who had just finished a battle and were carrying the severed heads of their enemies. Suenaga was nowhere to be seen in this scene either, which suggests that some sort of tampering may have occurred. Suenaga called out,
Congratulations! May I ask who I'm speaking with?
I'm Kikuchi Takefusa. And you?
I'm Takezaki Suenaga. Pleased to meet you.
Takefusa said,
The enemy has split into 2 groups and is retreating ahead.
Suenaga and his men immediately set off in pursuit of the Mongol soldiers. This scene depicts the arrival of reinforcements. This scene depicts the exploits of Suenaga's brother-in-law. These scenes will be explained later. Suenaga finally confronts the enemy. In the distance, he spots their base. Nearby, at the Torikaigata tidal flats, Mongol soldiers are retreating. Then his voice rings out.
Yeah, I'm Takezaki Suenaga.
The man charges forward like an arrow, but his subordinates hastily intervene.
Wait, we need a witness to prove the first attack.
Suenaga replies resolutely.
The samurai's honor lies in the first attack, above all else. Follow me.
His arrow struck one of the enemies. It was a precise shot that pierced the gap in his helmet. Yet the ground betrays him. He stumbles into a marshy marsh, and his horse loses its footing. Arrows rain down from the sky, and an odd object explodes before his eyes. 3 riders, including Suenaga, are wounded and face certain death. Then reinforcements arrive. Their leader, Shiraishi Michiyasu, calls out.
That was a brilliant first attack. I will be your witness.
Samurai like Suenaga often sought glory through solo feats such as leading the first attack. This scene shows that coordinated group tactics were also demonstrated by the reinforcements. Now let's take a look at the scroll that is believed to be the original. Researchers are intrigued by the scene depicting 3 Mongol soldiers because its style quite differs from the rest of the painting. Recent infrared analysis has confirmed that these figures were added later. To investigate this mystery, some scholars have studied the structure of the scroll and its painting style, reconstructing the sequence of images. They propose the bold hypothesis that the figure originally leading the scene was not Suenaga himself, but his elite brother-in-law, the son of the Nagato governor. These edits may have been intentional alterations intended to emphasize Suenaga's military exploits. The timing of these alterations and who commissioned them, Suenaga himself or a third party, remains a topic of debate among experts. He witnessed the first invasion end here. It is said to have ended due to a storm. However, Suenaga, who fought on the front lines, didn't write about it at all. He openly recorded even his own failures. Could he have really overlooked a storm powerful enough to alter the outcome of the battle right before his eyes? Our channel covers the details of these invasions in depth. Videos include Myth versus Science, Did Kamikaze Really Exist?, The Historical Butterfly Effect, The Emperor and Marco Polo, The Laborious Landing Operation, a 1-hour round trip from the mothership, Samurai versus Mongolia, a showdown of 2 exotic bows. These videos offer the highest quality explanations you'll find on YouTube. If you want to learn more, be sure to check them out. After the battle, Suenaga returned home feeling proud of his honorable first attack. Soon, his family grew weary of his constant bragging. Then, news of his reward arrived, but it made no mention of the first attack and offered no reward. Outraged, Suenaga shouted,
I made the first attack. I have witnesses.
he decided to protest the government of the Kamakura Shogunate.
His journey to prove his honor begins. The man, like an arrow, traveled 1,000 kilometers to claim his bonus. Next episode, Departure.
君は時の涙を見る。
Help motivate us to make more videos by liking and subscribing. Thank you for watching!